Yeah, yes, sir. You can proceed, sir, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sarah has given a very brief introduction about the project which I worked on, and say the project is Smart and Secure Environment Project. Um, the slideshow is available for you.
No,
Say about
not
the
yet, sir. Not yet.
not it.
Yeah, yes, sir. The screen is not visible.
It's not visible. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir. Not visible.
It is visible now.
Now, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Slide is visible now.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes. But intermediately, one box will be coming, black color. What is this, sir? Ah, yes, sir. Yes. Yeah, now it's visible, sir. Slide show, sir.
You are able to get the slideshow.
Not yet, sir.
It is taking some time, I think so.
No problem, sir. No. Yeah, yes, sir. Okay.
Right now.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we worked in that project called as Smart and Secure Environment Project. I will give you a brief introduction about that project so that you will get a brief idea about the topic which we are discussing today. That topic which we are discussing today is on the endpoint security, right? Okay. So the endpoint security and also the hashing part of it. So why hashing is required, right? Say and in case what is this cyber security all about, and you people might have studied the fundamentals of this information security, where this information security, it is based on the CAA concept, right? Okay, confidentiality, integrity, availability, and the concept called as a non-repudiation, right? Okay, so you people are aware of those concepts, right? Okay, so with that thought, you people are aware of that concept. Okay, I will just brush up those things also in the upcoming slides for you. So with that thought, we'll start this particular session. See, the project is Smart and Secure Environment Project, which Sir was introducing, uh, was telling about that project, where it is about the cyber security project. Is a Smart and Secure Environment Project. Uh, that is funded by the organization called as an NTRO, National Technical Research Organization, New Delhi. It is has been sanctioned around 8 crores in the year 2007, and after it has got the extension, and a few more crores were being given to that particular project. It runs ran around 8 institutes across Tamil Nadu. And Dr. Chidambaram was by that time principal secretary advisor to the government of India, initiated that particular project. So the Smart and Security project that was uh, done in the year 2007 with the motto that this cyber security field or the knowledge has to be enhanced to the people around uh, this cyber security field, right? Okay. I hear some voice coming.
Students, mute your audio. Yes, you can proceed, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you have any doubt, you can type in the chat box, or you can also you have the question time. During that time, you can ask. I think so, right? Fine. Okay, the smart and secure environment team that is headed by Professor S.V. Raghavan, the scientific officer of, he is a personal secretary PS2 Government of India. Okay, so while Manmohan Singh sir was there, during that time this project was running, and among these eight major universities like Anna University, NIT Tirchi, Madurai Kamarajar University, PSG, Coimbatore, and TCE Madurai, Pondicherry University, and Alagappa University, Karaikudi. These were the nodes or the institutes which are involved in this particular project. Why this kind of infrastructure was there? So this is the time when I was getting advice from sir regarding this project, how these things were to be taken up. So the study and innovation leading to smart and secure environment directed by basic research in smart and secure environment, where the mixture of the theory and practical was given. Say we had the project that is running, say attack is being generated in from one node, okay, and the defense is being given in another node. Okay, the real time experience of the attack generation and defense was taken place. And say we were in this project, the number of PhDs were able to come out since they worked in the project and get the real time scope out of it, how the real time attack works, and how this cyber attacks has been done, and how the vulnerabilities is been assessed, how it is been say the penetration testing is being done, and how the data is being taken by the attackers, okay, to attack, and how the cyber criminals plan for the attack. Okay, so those kind of things were studied, and what are the kinds of attacks that can take place in case of a system, what kind of attack can come in case of a network level, what kind of an attack can come. Okay, so as we are seeing about the endpoint security now, what kind of attack that can come. Okay, so mixture of all these things were being done with respect to this project, and the test bed was created, and number of manpowers were trained, and number of people were benefited out of this particular project, and number of students get their knowledge out of it, and say the knowledge is being spread around with the different institutes today. Okay, so that is the main objective of this particular project that is being done. Okay, and in case this is a SSC environment where we had this IIT Madras, Anna University, say this IITM that represents IIT Madras, and AU represents Anna University, the Pondicherry University, NIT, Alagappa University. Okay, so all the eight universities were connected. Okay, in an MPLS VPN cloud network. Okay, this assumes to be like a private network, right? Okay, so in that way, it is connected like a LAN. Okay, so whatever the things that is being done with respect to Ananisti, in case Ananisti, where they we were able to generate an attack. Okay, if NIT Tirchi has the defense tool, okay, so the defense tool locks that particular attack that is being generated. Okay, and making the log of it, we were able to study in depth about that particular attack, how it is being performed, and say what is the behavior of that attack, and how it can be handled in future. Okay, those kind of things were done with this respect to this particular project, right? Okay, so this architecture or this diagram will give you a clear idea about how distributed places geographically it is in different place, but it is been put together in one particular infrastructure. Okay, and the working model was created for that, and we worked in this particular model. Okay, and this project was very quite successful, and very good project that was coming out from us. and it has the servers where we had 3 blade servers and also the storage servers, and say we had the MPLS VPN connection. Okay, and say this involved quite a lot of investment, and say we were able to study quite a lot of things with respect to this project. Each and every 3 months we go to another node and present whatever work we are done, and what updation has to be done with respect to that project. The project PA there, okay, principal investigator there will tell how this can be taken up further, right? Okay, and this is the SSC architecture. It covers all modules. If you take the identification, identity management, trust management, and the transaction management, knowledge management. Okay, and in case of the network, say in case of the network, you have whether it is an IPv6, the from IPv4 to IPv6, it has to be transformed, right? Okay, so in what way it can be transformed when IPv6 comes in full fledged, right? Okay, so each and every particle in this world can get the IP address. Okay, so in that case, the IPv6 comes in, that will be a very good thing, right? Okay, so in that case, that is the phase where the IPv6 was evolving actually. Okay, so that was given there, and say the emphasis was given there. If in case it comes in, what all the vulnerabilities that can also occur. Okay, so that was also taken care. And say in case of the identity management, you have this biometrics, password, the ID card, say all kind of the physical security which is required. In case of the trust management, you have the access control, authentication, audit. So in case of the intrusion detection system, so intrusion detection and prevention system, in case you have your firewall kept there, and how it can be detected and defended, right? Okay, so those kind of things were taken upon. And in case of the transaction management, so you have this cryptographic protocols. So there is encryption algorithms that is being given, and how it can securely store the data. Okay, so data that is there has to be stored securely, right? Okay, what is that information security? We talk about the CAA. Okay, so the confidentiality, integrity, availability. Okay, so the authentication and non-repudiation also plays a part in case of this CAA concept, right? Okay, so these are the things which we were able to work on. Okay, so this complete architecture where the cyber security, what kind of attacks that can take place, everything was covered, and it has been worked on with respect to that particular project. System storage, the trust based and reference and hardware off shelves were also been done with respect to that project, a particular project. So that is the phase of that project phase. And the SSC the exploration phase. So what kind of say the works that was done, it was with respect to the post scanning, malware detection, web services. Okay, in case of the internet and secure agent, and in case of the cryptography, the crypto analysis, the forensics analysis, where the steganography analysis and the detection that comes in. Say this particular topic, endpoint security, that involves this forensics aspect. Okay, so in case you work from home. Okay, so the device is at the some endpoint. Okay, how that endpoint is secured. Okay, so somebody takes snap from your say company's data are been displayed in your particular monitor, right? Okay, so somebody takes the snap of that. Okay, how you can make that secure? Or you tend to be in a particular place where in and around in your place you have not kept your data securely. You keep your particular say the calendar, or some password written on your board, okay, that is being seen by some other person, okay, over the video conferencing also. Okay, so how to tackle these kind of things? Okay, so those aspects comes as your forensics analysis. And in case of your say the denial of service attack, you have the botnet that is being performed. And in case of the application, the testnet, the testbed is being done, and the multi-party video conferencing is also being done. So publication, the workshops that is being done, the journals that has been published. So these are the outcomes of that particular project. So the coming to the core aspect of it, where why we have come to this particular concept, the content copy protection. Okay, so what is this content copy protection? So before going to the content copy protection, say probably you people are able to see this screen. Are you able to see this that particular screen? Please type in the chat box. You are able to see the screen. I need some response. I need some response. Yeah, good, 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 good. Okay. Yeah, nice, 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 nice. I get the response. Okay. So we'll start with this. Okay. So probably these are the terminologies which are available. Okay. Say the terminologies which are with respect to the internet security. Okay, so you can guess what are the terminologies which are available there. See, you can guess the first word. So you can type your answers in the chat box. You can type your answer in the chat box. So the image represents something. Okay, so that is related to the internet security. Okay, so you can type the word in the chat box. Any guesses now? Please type the what is the terminology will be. Please give your terminology. I need your response to move further. Anything, what you guess, you try. I need your response to move further. All are able to hear me, see the screen, right? Yes. Give your answers. You understood the question? You understood the question? The image represents some words. Okay. That is related to the internet security. Okay. So those you find out those terminologies which are related to the internet security. Right?
Sir, last 2 second is fishing, sir.
Yeah, last 2 seconds is fishing. Good, good, good.
Sir,
Then
last one and some of
say
the
other
things not
say
appearing,
first
sir.
one. Last one is not appearing, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Second line, last 2 second is key.
The first
Public
one
key, like
is
something.
first one is the password. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Likewise, I need the guesses for all other things. Okay. So password is a
First
terminology
line,
which
third
is,
one is firewall, sir.
yeah. Probably you can type your answer in the chat box. Last one is your, okay. Fourth one is firewall. Hmm. Yes. Pavitra has given some answer. Firewall. Okay. Fifth one, virus. Hmm. Rest of it. So the next one is the patch. Yes, 7 people are waiting to be admitted. Latecomers, huh? Next one. So white star. Last one is Torgenos. Fifth one is virus. Fifth one is virus. Okay. Eighth one is a worm. Okay. Sixth one is a key logger. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. And other few things are also there. Okay. So the first one is a password. Second one is a patch. First one is a password. Password. Okay. Second one is a second one. No, none of you have found out, right? Okay. It is a patch. Okay. And third one is a spam. And fourth one is firewall. Okay. Most of them have guessed it very accurately. Okay. And fifth one is virus. Yeah. Good, 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 good call. And next one. Next one. Next one. Screen is not visible, sir. Now it is visible. Ten is reach. Tenth one is reach. Okay. Okay. Then any other guesses? What will be the fifth one? Fifth one, you have guessed. Sixth one. Sixth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sixth one is not a keylogger. Sixth one is something else. 12th is fishing. Okay. Nice, 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 nice. Shall we see the answer? Probably. Time's up for us. Actually, I think. Okay. So next one is your war driving. Okay. So what is this war driving? They search for the password, driving around, and they search and find out the password. Okay. Say open password which is available. They find out for the open password. Okay. So those kind of things are called as a war driving. Okay. And next one, as you guessed, it is keylogger. And the next one, okay, most of you didn't give the answer, I think. Okay, so any guesses? It's a proxy. Okay, so it is a proxy. It is a symbol of proxy. Okay, so proxy you use as a proxy server, okay, for different purpose, or also for defending some kind of attack. You use this proxy server to defend it or to redirect. Okay, basically it is used for redirection. Okay, it is both used in case of the attack and also the defense purpose, right? And you have this worm and also phishing. The final one is your Trojanous, right? Okay, fine. Okay, so basically you have a very good understanding, right, about this particular attacks that are available. Okay, people know how what is this keylogger is all about. What is this keylogger is all about? You people know what is this keylogger all about? Okay, you people know what is this keylogger all about? Okay, so you type your user credentials, username, password, that is also recorded there, right? Okay, so that gets recorded. Okay, so there are certain tools for you to perform the attack, and in case these things are called as an, say there are certain kinds of people. Okay, black hat, white hat. Okay, and say in case of they become a gray hat. Okay, so what are these kind of people? Okay, so in case of white hat, they do the ethical hacking alone. Okay, so they perform the ethical action function. Okay, so in case of the black cat, they may violate, okay, and try to crack it. Okay, so they may do some illegal activities also, right? Okay, so gray is a mixture of both the things, right? Okay, so probably we will see a example how a password, say, you basically, if you people have these things installed, okay, you can practice the kind of cyber security things in case you have a Kali Linux, okay, that is being installed in your system. So in Kali Linux you have the packages that is being installed for you, right? Okay, so you people are able to see, it is visible. I am running VMware. It is visible for you. It is visible for you people. Someone unmute and tell me it is visible. It will be good if I get a response.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yeah, good, 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 good. Okay, so this is the basic, say the screen of your, say the backtrack, backtrack that is been installed. The backtrack now it has been happened to be the Kali Linux. Okay, so you just open the terminal. Okay, basically we have a number of tools that is been by default given in this Kali Linux. Okay, we'll just try with the basic password hacking. Okay, so this is John the Ripper. Okay, John the Ripper, where the password hacking can, say the password cracking can be done using the John the Ripper. Just type after installing this Kali Linux, just type John and see whether the John the Ripper is working properly in your system. And say you want to see this particular system's username and password. Okay, just type John etc/shadow. Okay, so loaded two password hash with two different things are there. Okay, so it will take certain time, uh, and it will probably get your password of this particular system. Okay, so uh, say in case the root is been the user, then the password for that root will also be displayed. Okay, so this is the basic way how we can crack the password. Likewise, if it is given as a hashed, so if it is given as a hash value also, that can be cracked using this John the Ripper tool. And also if it is like a password protected file, that also can be done. Okay, so if it has these kind of things, it can easily find out the password for you. Okay, so probably it is having less of the memory, so it is taking much of time, I think so. Okay, so next step what it will do is that display your password. Okay, probably we will come and see this is working properly after a period of time. Okay, so next step what it does is that it will display the password. Okay, so we have a number of applications that are running. Okay, so for information gathering, vulnerability assessment. Okay, this nmap is a very good tool. Okay, um, and you have the web analysis. Okay, so basically when you go for a company, what they will do is that so you need to analyze your particular application. Okay, in case you want to analyze the particular, say, rather than analyzing your infrastructure. Okay, analyzing that particular application, it also involves the infrastructure. Say in case you want to specifically um, apply the security concept for that particular application. So in case it is using the OTP mechanism, and say any kind of vulnerabilities or any kind of patches has to be done. Okay, so those kind of things can be explored using this web application analysis. And you have your data base, say the database assessment can be done. Your SQL Lite browsers can be installed and it can be checked. And say you have the password attack, where you have the John the Ripper, and you have this wireless, where aircrack ng is a very famous tool. So all these kind of stuffs are there, where we can do the forensics and the social engineering sniffing, where this Wireshark is a predominantly used tool, where the network analysis is being done. Okay, so when you install this particular Kali Linux, okay, you get all these features. Okay, and you have yet another thing called as a application that is being built in Git, where you can use that lazy software, where with this running that, you can do the vulnerabilities attacks and other things that can be easily done. Okay, so probably I will play you a video and show. You will get a very good idea on that, I think so. say, please say it is audible to you. It is audible to you. It is audible.
No, sir, not audible.
Not audible.
Tool in
Will be
KARE
audible
Linux.
now.
First, learn what is John the Ripper. John the Ripper is a
Yes,
free
sir.
and open source software for
Yeah.
cracking the passwords.
It's
It
audible,
is
right?
one of the most popular
Yes, sir.
password testing tool.
Yeah.
It auto-detects password hash types and includes a customizable cracker. In this tutorial I will show you how you can crack Linux user password, zip or RAR file password, Windows user password, crypt hash password. So let's start. We will use John the Ripper tool on these files to crack the password. Open terminal and type John. If you see these options, it means John the Ripper tool is installed on this machine. Cracking Linux user password. All Linux user passwords are saved on /
So this is the first step what I have done there. Okay, to check the current Linux username password, right?
etc/shadow file. So, type John/etc/shadow and hit enter. After this the process will start. It will take time to crack the password. It depends on the system and the complexity of the password.
Yeah, you can see. So it takes certain time based on the complexity of the password and the system, right? Okay, so based on that, it takes some time, computational time to get the password, right? Okay, so it has a high memory, it can bring it much more faster for you, right? Okay, and the computation speed is high, you can bring much more faster. Here you can see for the root the password is being cracked, right? Okay, 1234, that password is being cracked and it is being
You can see that the password is cracked for the user root, and the password is 1234. Cracking zip or RAR file password. Already I have a password protected zip file. First, go to the path where the zip file is stored. For crack the password we have to copy the hashes of the
so
password.
this is where the zip file where it is password protected. Okay, so that is being cracked.
Password in a text file. Type zip to John. Zip file name greater than. Output text file. In output file.
So probably I will also share this link so that people can also try this. Okay, so just use it for a ethical hacking purpose, right? Okay,
The password hashes of the zip file will be stored. You can see that the hashes are stored on this text file. Now we will cracking the password for the zip file. Type John --format equals zip output text file and hit enter. You can see that the password of the zip file is cracked.
okay.
Now you can
So
open
you
the
can
password
just
protected
type
zip file by entering the
password
password.
and open that particular.
Cracking Windows user password.
So you just see how the password protected thing is also not that much secure, right? Okay, so you can always crack that. Okay, and the password can be taken and it can be used.
Hashes. Already I have a Windows password hashes text file. You can see that it stores the password hashes of the Windows users. You can see the link in the description that how you can get these hashes. I will crack the password hash for a single user.
So for a single user,
Open terminal and type John format equals
particular
lm
user's username password is
user equals username, file name, and hit enter. You can see that password is cracked for the user. Decrypting MD5 hash of a string. I have already a file which contains MD5 hash of a string. You can see that these are the hash of a string. So let's decrypt it. Open terminal and type John format equals raw MD5 hash file name and hit enter. After this it will decrypting the hashes, and you can see that it decrypt the hash.
okay. So even that hash can be easily
You can also use your own
cracked.
word
Okay.
list for
So
crack the
what kind of way it is? Okay, it can be easily cracked. Okay, that is the whole moral of this particular thing. Okay, so if you want, I can also share this. So you can use this for a very ethical purpose, and also now I will try to give you a particular I will give you a hash value. Oh, so I gave a hash value. Okay, MD5 digest value. Okay, try to find out the what word is been hashed out of it, right? Okay. So we'll get the answer at the end of this thing. Okay. So we have started with that hashing technique, right? Okay. Say what is the need for that hashing technique and other things. Say right now we'll see the areas that is being explored there, right? Okay. Content copy protection. Okay. So for end user security, content copy protection is a very essential thing, right? Okay. What is this content copy protection? Say you have the users unauthorized access of the content in e-learning environment, that is to be avoided, right? Okay. And no efficient method that is prevailing for copy copying protection the display mode, right? So in case it is been displayed, okay, you can just take a snap of it, or just you can print the screen. Lot of ways are there. When it is being displayed, you can just take a screenshot of it, right? Okay. So how we are going to defend it, right? Okay. So for that we have to separate the user's action as a legal action and illegal action. Okay. And we should have a agent that is being monitoring, and the content which is to be displayed, that has to be given to a adapter or the container, and the device profile has to be in that way that it has to be very much adaptable, and whatever the content that has to be displayed is to be given in the this particular format, right? Okay, so within a particular framework it is being given, right? So the PDF fit into this particular framework. The user can just scroll up, scroll down. Okay, if they try to click on that, okay, right click on that, try to copy the content, okay, so you can't copy the content. Or if you want to just take a screenshot of it, okay, and try to paste it, you will not be able to do it. Okay, so in case this you are trying to do some illegal activity, okay, that is not allowed for the user, okay, so your content will not be displayed at that event. Okay, so this content copy protection is a very good tool, right? Okay, so in case how we can protect, in case this endpoint security is there, okay, so in case of the endpoint security, this content copy protection is a very much essential aspect. Okay, so we should take care of this content copy. The copy of that content, okay, has to be maintained without being copied, right? Okay. So the endpoint security helps secure. You have the networks and devices, cloud hosting, data storage, your software as a service, on-site software activity, the staff's activity. So the whatever the activities that is being done by the staff has to be monitored. Okay, so people work in remote nowadays. Okay, so IT company also what they do. Okay, they give the project, okay, and say if they have this data that is being stored in a secured way, like say you if they have this VPNs that is being connected, okay, so certain protocols like this file transfer protocol, FTP, and other things are very vulnerable, that they transmit the raw data. Okay, so the whatever the data that is being transmitted, the username, password that is being sent, that is being sent as a raw data without encrypting the data, it is being sent. Okay, so just by sniffing that particular packet, just by seeing, it can be seen that particular username and password just as a plain text it is being passed. Okay, so I will show you certain things, videos where how username and password is being easily cracked using tools like Wireshark also, right? The tools like Wireshark is very effective tool where they can see the interface, where from that interface the user credentials can be easily taken. Is in case the people are working in remote, okay, they have to use the network, and then they have to transmit the data. How vulnerable is that network? We have to be very much careful about that network, right? It is a vulnerable network or not, and how we are going to defend it, those aspects has to be concentrated. Okay, and what all the partners and vendors that has to be accessed, whether they are secure, those things has to be analyzed. Elements of endpoint security: the device protection, network control, the application control, the data control, and the browser protection. Okay, so whatever the browser you are using, say in case the data is being transmitted via this HTTP, okay, again the vulnerability is there. Okay, so just by using the Wireshark itself, you can find out the username and password. Okay, So in case whether it is, if it is HTTPS, it is okay, then there will not be a problem. If you are just using HTTP website, okay, and then you are trying to give your username and password, okay, then they can easily take your username and password, right? Important credentials can be easily taken, right? Okay, so you should be careful while using. And the company also should tell the people about this security awareness, right? Okay, so the security awareness should be there. What all the things has to be done and what all the things that are not to be done, that has to be given, right? Okay, see, in case if the awareness has to be given, okay, so in case you use your PC, virtual machine, or dedicated server, laptop, or mobile phone, the spyware, the antivirus, okay, so all these kind of things which are in the endpoint, okay, so you have the endpoint security to be provided to these kind of things, okay, so you you have to protect this particular system, okay, from the attackers also, okay. So when you are within the company, okay, if you are using the bring your own device concept, you go with your particular laptop, they connect into the particular VPN and then access the data. Whereas you come to your home, you in case you work from home, okay, and you have the data that is been used from your system, from your laptop, okay, your system get corrupted, okay, and your system is been compromised, okay, in that case how we are going to defend it, that is a whole question mark, right? Okay, see, while transmitting the data, okay, so you should be knowing what is encryption, okay, so you should be knowing what is encryption, okay. If without encrypting the data, if you try to send the data, that creates a lot of problem, okay. Say in case you just need to encrypt data, say probably hi, I am giving hi, right? I'm just giving hi, hi, and I am telling, so there is some problem, so please run, okay. So this data, okay, somebody sees in the middle, okay, then the caution is being given, right? Okay, so that caution, somebody sees in the middle, any kind of a man in the middle kind of attack that comes, okay, that also has to be defended, right? Okay, so this is being encrypted in this way, okay. So when a user comes in and sees in middle, okay, will not be able to understand what the data that is being sent, okay. So when it is been encrypted or it is been converted into this particular fashion, okay, they cannot see how, what the data that has been actually sent, right? Okay, so if they want to decrypt the data back again, okay, what they do at the end user, okay, so the sender should be there and the receiver should be there. So somebody comes in the middle and he tries to attack, okay, so the encryption happens in one place and the decryption happens in another place, right? Okay, so the encrypted data has to be decrypted, okay, and the whole meaning of that has to be understood, right? Okay, so in that case the decryption has to take place here, okay, so at the receiver side, okay, so you, the whatever the data that is being sent, encrypted data, that is again decrypted using the same algorithm. Okay, what algorithm that is being used for encrypting the text, the same algorithm is used for decrypting, and you can find out the
online tools and tools.
yes. Yes, any questions? Yes, any questions?
Strongly came, sir. You can proceed. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah, thank you. So in case of your decryption, you can find out how this data is being decrypted. The same exact data that is being sent. Hi, please run. Okay, so that is being encrypted and it is sent. While it is being sent in the network, it is being encrypted and it is being sent. And in the case of the receiver side, okay, it is been again decrypted, and that again the decrypted text is been got, right? Okay, the say without changing the meaning, okay, it has to be sent. Okay, so you have this you have already studied about the CAA, right? Okay, the confidentiality of the data has to be maintained. Okay, so only the intended receiver should receive the data. Okay, and the integrity of the data, whatever the data that is being sent, the same data has to be received, right? Okay, it should not be tampered, no changes should be there. Okay, so in case I have typed please, okay, that has to be displayed. I have typed PLS, that PLS only has to be displayed, right? Okay, no change should be there. Okay, if I transfer 100 rupees, same 100 rupees has to be transferred. Okay, 90 rupees should not be transferred, right? Okay, so the integrity of the data has to be maintained. And then the availability. Okay, though whatever the data that is being sent, that has to be received. Okay, and the particular server should be available all the time. Okay, and so another aspect is your access. Okay, so whoever has the authority to access the particular data should only has the access control. Nobody else should have the access control. Okay, and another aspect is your non-repudiation. What is that non-repudiation? Any response from your side in your chat box? Any response from your side? Yeah, somebody has encrypted the data. Roll number, that is roll number or mobile number? 4085 has given the answer for that particular hash value that is being given. Good, good. So I will again give one another hash value. Please find out the answer for that. While the screen is shared, the system tends to be very slow. It doesn't know why. People have received it. I have given the hash value. Okay.
Sir?
I have given the hash value. You try to get the meaningful word out of it. Right? Good. So say we are again back with this. Okay, I have asked the question, what is the non-repudiation? Anybody is dare to answer my question? Non-repudiation. You can switch on your mic and also answer if you want. Yes. What is a non-repudiation? Either the sender or the receiver cannot deny that either they have not sent or they have not received. Okay, if a mail is being sent, or in case you take your WhatsApp, right? Okay, the double tick with the blue comes. Okay, then the sender has sent it and the receiver has received it. Okay, that is obviously understood by both the sides, right? Okay, so that aspect is your non-repudiation. Okay, so you are clear with the concept of encryption also, I think so, right? Okay, so why the data has to be encrypted and it has to be sent? Okay, or else what kind of problem it will be faced? What kind of problem you will be facing? What kind of problem you will be facing? Just you can see this, then you will understand what kind of problems you will be facing.
Hey, look, sorry, I know you were just about to watch another YouTube video, but before you go, I've got a quick, important message for you.
Wireshark is a packet sniffing program that network administrators can use
If people can
to
hear,
isolate and troubleshoot problems on the network. It can also be used by someone with malicious intent to eavesdrop on network communications and capture sensitive data like usernames, passwords, the types of websites that people are visiting, and the types
people can hear, right?
of things they're looking at, their email, all kinds of things. So Wireshark can traffic.
See, you have any problem in getting the video or the audio of it, please interrupt me. Okay, I will be in the assumption that it is going fine, right? Please interrupt me and let me know.
Crossing either one of these network interfaces. So all traffic that leaves my computer on this network interface wirelessly, I could capture. Also, traffic that comes across my interface from the network coming into the interface, I could capture that as well. Also, same thing with this network connection. So what I
So this is a simulated environment where they are using the telnet, okay, for transmitting the data. Okay, so they use the HTTP and FTP protocol, right?
want to do is I want to generate some traffic from my computer, and I'm going to send and receive data, and then I'm going to capture that data and take a look at that data. The protocols that we'll be analyzing are Telnet, SSH, FTP, and HTTP. And FTP and HTTP connections will happen off the internet, and the Telnet and SSH connections will be happening from a router that I'm going to connect to, and then I'll capture that traffic as it leaves my computer and then also as it returns. So this should be a fun exercise and show you a little bit about how Wireshark works. So Wireshark's really easy to use actually. All you have to do first of all is tell it which interfaces you want to capture. So if I'm going to, let's say, Telnet into the router,
This Wireshark tool, if you are familiar, can do lot of sniffing activities actually. Okay, so you can sniff your wired network, wireless network. Okay, whatever the data that is being transmitting across the network, that interface can be captured using the Wireshark. Okay, everything can be sniffed. right? Okay, the kind of man in the middle attack, those things takes place. Okay, so by just monitoring, okay, they just sniff and then they try to attack. Okay, so these kind of things are done using these kind of tools. Okay, this Wireshark is a very effective tool actually.
I'll go up here and I'll say capture interfaces, and then I've got to pick the correct interface. Now I have a bunch of virtual interfaces here, so I have to
You people might be familiar what is an interface. Before seeing this, two questions, two quick questions. What is an interface? No, what is a port and what is a protocol? Okay, so if you have answer for these things, you will be able to understand much better this particular thing, right? Okay, you have the idea what is a port, what is a protocol. You people didn't get it, huh?
నేను చూసావా ఎప్పుడైనా వాళ్ళతో మాట్లాడటం అంతసేపు గంటలు గంటలు ఫ్రెండ్స్ అయితే
You are able to get it or not? Yeah, protocol is a set of rules or procedures. Yes, right. Okay, good. So what is a port? What is a port? P-O-R-T, port. Port is a kind of hmm, hmm. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Say basically the attackers try to see the network. Okay, they find the vulnerabilities. What is the vulnerability? What they scan? They find out what are the ports that are open. Okay, what are the ports that are
Sir,
open? So that
Kavishankar
based on
sir.
that ports. Yes, sir.
Sir, somebody waiting, I hope. Please admit, sir.
1 second, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
While screen share is going on, sir, certain things are not
Okay, no issues, no
in
issues.
line actually. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we are not able to see that screen as that
Okay, no
screen.
issues, no issues. Okay, thank you, sir. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Sir, everything is clear actually. The video is clear. I didn't get that response from the people. Video is clear, and whatever I am talking is clear, sir. Nagarajan, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. You are clear.
Fine.
Yeah,
Thank
yes,
you.
sir. Proceed. Thank you.
Okay, so we were discussing about this port. Okay, what is this port? What are the ports that are open? Say, in case of your HTTP protocol, you use the port 80. Okay, so using the port 80, the data transmission of this HTTP protocol are taking place. Say, whereas you use the telnet, you use your FTP. Okay, so for each and everything, you have these different ports that are open. Using that particular port, the protocol communicates, right? Okay, so that particular port is open or not, that is being found out using this. Say the vulnerability scanners find out what all the ports that are open. Okay, so using that, they know what is the vulnerability of that particular port. Okay, so they find out this is the vulnerability of this particular port and try to attack based on that, or else they try to check the operating system, what operating system is that you are using, right? Okay, so based on that operating system, what kind of vulnerabilities are there with the respect to that operating system, whether that is being patched or not. Okay, we doesn't know. Okay, so based on that, they try to perform the attacks and see whether it is working properly. Okay, so if they are able to crack it, they will crack the particular attack, right? Okay, so in case of the interface, what is that? That is a incoming way, right? Okay, so in case of your wireless, you have the wireless interface. Okay, so in case of your wired, you can see your LAN port that is available, right? Okay, so that LAN port where you get your physical connection that is being plugged in, right? Okay, your network that is being plugged in. Okay, that is your interface. Okay, the network is your network interface card, right? Okay, so that card enables your particular system to interface with the network. Okay, so that card interface with the network, that is your interface. Okay, so here in this Wireshark you can see the number of interface that are available. Okay, based on that you can select which interface you want to do, right? Okay, so in case you want to check your wireless interface, you can check that particular wireless interface. If you want to check your wired interface, that wired interface, or in case VMware is being installed, that particular interface you have to check. Okay, I have installed Kali Linux in VMware. Okay, I try to say analyze that particular interface. Okay, that interface has to be given, okay, for analysis. So people are clear, I think, right, with respect to interface. Okay, you can go ahead with this.
First of all, look closely at which interface I want to use right now. So my wireless connection, that's for going out to the internet. Right now, my local area connection, my gigabit network connection, is the one I want to use. And you can see traffic flowing across it a little bit right now, but this is the one right here, gigabit network connection. So I'm going to select it and I'll press start, and now I'll start capturing traffic on that interface. So now what I can do is I can get a connection. So what I'll do is I'll open up PuTTY and I'll telnet into the router. So I'll choose telnet from PuTTY and I'll put in the IP address of the router, 192.168.0.1. Now I'm capturing all of this traffic right now. So here is the telnet session. I'll put in my username, which is admin, and then I'll put in my password, Cisco 12345, and you can see I just got into the router. Now I'll go to privileged user mode, enable, and I'll put in the next password, which is Dan's courses. And now I'm in privileged user mode, and I can start executing commands like show me the IP routing table or something like that, right? Okay, so now I'm done, so I'm going to stop capturing. So I'll press the stop button here, and you can see that I've captured just a ton of packets here. See that? All these packets here. Now, let's say I was snooping or eavesdropping on the network, and I'm interested in possible network management connections and usernames and passwords, and seeing if somebody was using a protocol like Telnet, which is not encrypted and would possibly give away that information. So all I'd have to do is go really quickly here and say I'm interested in the Telnet protocol, and this is my filtering tool right here. See, it says filter, so I put in Telnet.
Please note this filtering tool where you can type your particular protocol or the particular IP address what you want to track. Okay, so that you can give and you can filter that particular protocol alone and see.
Telnet, click apply, and it'll isolate only the packets that are using the Telnet protocol. And by doing that, we can take a look at the different types of communications that were happening. So as you can see, I can open this up and we can start looking at each packet. So Telnet, let's see here, Telnet, look at that. Telnet, if we look in this window right here, you can see these are returns, user access verification, return new line, username, and if I go to the next packet, then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, next one, eventually we'll see something here. Data, A, D, M, I, N.
So you can see the username that is being
admin, and then password.
and the following
We'll keep
password
going
for
down
that.
here. CISCO 1 2 3 4 5. Each character is sent separately. Each
Whatever the data that is being sent, everything is being sniffed by this wireless, say the Wireshark tool. Okay, so you can easily, it is been given as a raw data. Okay, so you can easily find out what is the data that is being sent. Okay, each and every data that is being sent in separate packets. Okay, that you combine together and see, you can find out the password for that. Okay, so the very important credentials are the username and password. Okay, that is being easily sniffed and it is being got. Then how you can say this thing is secure, right?
keystroke sent separately in a separate packet here, but you can just put them all together and you can see the entire situation. I could also take this telnet communication and I'll take this packet and I'll say right click and choose follow TCP stream, and we can see the whole thing right here. User access verification, username, you can see here, admin, password, Cisco 12345. Then here's my enable command. Now the letters are a little funky here, split into red and blue, but we can see that the command was enabled.
So if you can see the stream, you can see the entire data, what is being given at that instance, right?
And the password was Dan's courses. We can also see the output from my show IP route command and the type of output that the router generated. Everything here is basically in plain text. So we learned that Telnet is not a very secure protocol to use for remote administration. If someone happened to be eavesdropping on the network and picking up that data, it would reveal both my username, my password, and all the commands that I'm giving. So I'll close this and I'll close PuTTY and I'll execute the same scenario, but this time I'll use SSH. So I'll press capture interfaces, same connection, start. I want to continue without saving the previous capture. I don't need to save all those packets, so I'll say continue without saving. I don't need also just the TCP stream, so I'll clear that so that we can see all types of communications here. And I'll open up PuTTY once again, except this time I'll use, instead of Telnet, I'll use SSH, put in the IP address, and click open. And I'll log in again as admin. And I'll use the same password, Cisco 12345, gets me in, enable, and the password, Dan's courses, and then a command like show IP route. Now let's stop the capture. We've got all of our data here.
The same scenario, what is being done with the Telnet is being done with the SSH.
You can see right here, SSH version 2, the protocol, encrypted request packet. Well, first of all, let's filter for SSH, and click apply. And so these are all the SSH packets. Key exchange initialized, Diffie-Hellman key exchange, this is the key exchange. New keys, client keys, encryption AES 256, and we're looking to see if we can, here it is. So here is something sent from me to the router, encrypted request packet. You can see here. I'm not going to be able to pick up any information here and figure out the usernames and passwords or anything like that. And if I go up to the top and I say follow TCP stream, we can see in here that all of the messages, if we follow the stream, is entirely encrypted, and I'm not going to be able to figure out exactly what types of information was sent across the network.
See the video's logo right here?
So that is the basic understanding that how a username and the password say that is been transmitted in the telnet and also the SSH.
Well, instead of that, you just drop in your own logo. It used to be that if you wanted this
level,
level,
it's been transmitted in the SSH. How it is been encrypted and it is been sent. Okay, that scenario has been clearly explained. So we need to know what protocol has to be used, right? Okay, which protocol has to be used to make it secure, right? Okay, while we use the HTTP protocol, then the username and password can be easily got, right? Okay, in case HTTPS is used, okay, so there is some case, right? The password is been encrypted and it is being sent. There is some computation that is to be taking place to encrypt that particular algorithm to decrypt it and get the particular password. Okay, so which during the course of time while transmitting in the network is somewhat not possible, right? Okay, so in that case it makes it more secure.
That was SSH and Telnet. Now, what about FTP, File Transfer Protocol, and HTTP? So let's say I wanted to connect to an FTP server on the internet. So I just happen to have one here that we can use. So I'll open up a FileZilla connection to my web host, ftp.danscourses.com. I'll put in the user, test user at danscourses.com. I'll put in my password, Wireshark GR8. And this will be a port 21 connection to FTP. So before I connect though, I want to start capturing. So I'll say capture interfaces, except this time I'm going out to the internet, so I'm not going to use the local area connection, I'm going to use my wireless connection. So I'll select the wireless connection and press start. So now I'm capturing web traffic. There we go. Let's start our connection now. Quick connect. All right, it's connecting to my web host online, and it already submitted my username and password.
So you need to upload something in your web server. Okay, so in your website, okay, using your say the FileZilla. Okay, so the FileZilla software is being used and you are trying to upload it, right? Okay, in that case, this how this FTP protocol works, and say what are the vulnerabilities in that is being discussed.
Password, and I can now examine the files on my web host. I'll stop the connection or stop the capture, and I'll close my connection to my web host. There we go. And let's take a look at what we have. So here is the captured packets. As you can see, it's a ton of information. All we're interested in though is FTP. So FTP is the protocol I'm interested in, so I'll filter for FTP, and you can see right there, we don't have to look very far. Look at the second line. User, test user at danscourses.com, and then password, it says pass right here, Wireshark GR8. So there it is. Done. Well, that was quick. If we follow the TCP stream, you can see all of the information here, and yeah, there you go. There's the username and password. So FTP is not secure. So what have we learned? We've learned that Telnet's not encrypted, not secure. SSH is encrypted, and that FTP is not encrypted. Now, what about HTTP traffic? If someone was eavesdropping on your network and they were sniffing packets, could they see the web pages that you were looking at? Absolutely. Let's take a look. So, once again, I'll capture interfaces, and I'll capture my wireless network connection. I'll hit start. Continue without saving. So now I'm capturing traffic. And let me clear this because we don't want just that stream. Okay, so we don't want to filter yet. And open up a web browser, and I'll go to dalbergetti.com, my website. I know because I have a simple picture here, so it's a good one to go to. And then I'll go to my website here, danscourses.com, and I can hit a couple of pages, and I've got some images here. And there should be some graphics. There we go. All right, sounds good. So I'll stop the capture. And let's say I'm interested in the types of images that I happen to be looking at. Well, what I'll do is first I'll filter my captured data, all the different protocols and packets that I captured. This time I'm interested in HTTP traffic. So I'll click apply. These are my web requests. So I'm interested in, let's say, maybe images that somebody's looking at. So I could say, and just scroll down and start looking for the types of files like JPEGs and PNG files and GIF files and things like that. Let's see if we can find one really quickly here. There it is. Right here, this is the call to get my image from my website. On the next line, it says right here, JPEG image. So what it can do is highlight this, then I'll go down in the second window area, and there is the JPEG file right here. This is what I'm interested in. So I'll just right click on this JPEG, and I'll say export selected packet bytes and raw data, and I'll just choose a name, image 1, and I know it's a JPEG, so I'll put .jpg and save it to my desktop. Now I'll scroll down and look for some other images that we can take. And this last one, the desktop. Let's take a look at what we found. So we'll go to the desktop, and here are the images: image 1, image 2, image 3, and image 4. So we'll just open this one first. There's the first image, right from my website, rebuilt from the packet capture, private or encrypted. Now, it's a good reason to think about when you should be using HTTPS, when you should be using an encrypted protocol, and things like that. So it's definitely something to think about. Well, anyway, I hope you liked the demonstration. You could try that for yourself. Just capture interfaces.
So I think you got a very good idea about this Wireshark tool, and also about the vulnerabilities of the protocols, right? Okay. So the FTP protocol that you are using is not secure. HTTP protocol, the images can be easily taken. Okay, whatever the images that are there in your website, using some user credentials, I enter into that particular website. Okay, then I find out that their images can be easily taken out using the Wireshark, right? Okay, so those are the vulnerabilities with respect to the protocols which are available, and we should have a knowledge that these vulnerabilities are there. Okay, so in that case, what is the protocol that has to be used, and how it can be used more effectively and efficiently, right? Okay, so say there are three categories of attackers. Okay, so there are three categories of attackers. Who are the cyber criminals, right? I think the screen is visible for you. The types of cyber criminals hungry for recognition. Okay, so they type on kind of criminals are, they are hungry for the recognition, like they do it for some hobby, or say politically motivated actors, or some kind of a terrorist activities, right? Organizations. So in case of the type 2, there are the cyber criminals not interested in recognition. Okay, they do it for financial motivation. They do it for a financial motivation, or to bring down some reputation of the organization or the nation, or say they want to make some hold, or they want to make the process hold. Okay, so some stoppage has to be done. So for those purpose, the type 2 criminals are very much interested. Case of the type 3, they are the insiders. They work inside that organization, right? Okay, the people who are working inside that organization are the former employees of that organization. They worked in that organization and then they go out of the organization. Some bad event would have happened with respect to that organization. So they try to take a, say they know each and everything about that organization, right? Okay, so they try to take some revenge. Okay, so in that case, they are type 3 type of cyber criminal, right? Okay, they are the insiders. Okay, so these are the three major kind of cyber criminals who are there. Okay, the first one is the cyber criminals hungry for recognition. Second one is the cyber criminals not interested in recognition, and third is that cyber criminals, they are the insiders, right? And say you should be knowing about this. I've already discussed. Say the black hat hackers, or the say the darker side of it, right? Such persons are malicious or criminal hackers. Okay, so the white hat are the ethical hackers who is ethically opposed to the opposite to that say uh, so they are the hackers who try to find out what all the vulnerabilities are there, and then they try to give that these kind of vulnerabilities are there, so you can take an alternate method, or what are the protocols that has to be used to make your system more secure, right? So the brown hat hackers, those think before acting or committing any malicious deed. They are the brown hat hackers. Gray hat hackers, they refer to the hackers who realize release the information about an exploit or security hole openly to the public without telling that particular organization. They release it publicly. Okay, what happens in that case? Okay, so they might not have that malicious intent, but they will have the these kind of things. They should not release it publicly, they will release it, right? Okay, without concerning that particular in the organization, they try to release it. Those kind of people are called as the gray hat hackers, right? Okay, black hat, white hat, brown hat, and gray hat. Say how criminals plan for the attack. Okay, so the first is the recognition phase, where you have the information gathering. Information gathering is the first phase, and it is treated as a passive attack, right? Okay, So where the information gathering is only done, right? So you gather some information, you just try to sniff the network or find out the network how it is, and where the people are located. All these kind of information are being gathered, and they study about the network, the vulnerabilities of that particular network, and then they try to exploit that, right? Okay. So the second is the scanning and scrutinizing. So they try to scan for the vulnerabilities, which OS they are using, what protocol they are using, how we can find out, say, with the existing vulnerabilities, in case they are using the Windows system, what kind of vulnerability is available that with respect to the particular Windows OS, right? Okay. Or they're using some other Linux based system or Red Hat based system, any other vulnerabilities are there. Okay, so they try to exploit that vulnerability and try to attack the particular system, right? Okay, so some web server is being hosted in some Windows server, right? Some that Windows server may have some vulnerability. Okay, so the attacker may use that vulnerability and try to launch the attack, right? Okay, the final, after gathering all the information, they try to launch an attack, right? Okay, gaining and maintaining the system access, right? The passive attacks are attacks that involve in gathering information about a target without his or her knowledge. Okay, so in case the Google say Yahoo search and basically browse uh, and find out the vulnerabilities, and they try to get the some information about the official in official website. Okay, so in case in the organization you can find out their mobile number, their email ID, say any kind of other valuable information about their, say in certain cases I see in the website the entire history of that person will be available, what their marks they have scored right from starting, okay, to the end, from which school they have studied, everything will be available. Okay, so all these things are available. Okay, the attacker, say, they can easily find out this information. They can based on that they will see this information, they call you, they do some social engineering, and they try to get even more data from you, and they try to achieve something which is financially very benefit for them, right? Okay, so these kind of attacks are taking place using these passive attacks. The tools used during these passive attacks are see the Google Earth to find out the location, and in the Internet Archive they find out that Internet Archive, the personal communities, say the domain confirmation, people search. Okay, say let me show you one thing. Uh, so you have a certain tool like whois. Okay, so whois domain name lookup, right? Okay, so you have these kind of things where you can find out, say, whois domain name not tools, where I have found out the information about the Kalasingam University's particular say the domain name, right? klu.ac.in. Okay, so that is the domain name that is being used. Say we can find out the organization who has registered that particular domain, right? Okay, and the country India, and say when it is being registered, the date, how many days it is old. Okay, so in case the website is not for a is only for a limited period of time, right? Okay, say it's a certain kind of attacks like phishing attacks comes. Okay, so when the phishing attack comes, okay, that particular website that has been created, okay, that will not be having this many years of say the existence. Okay, the existence of that particular website will be very less. Okay, in case they are creating a phishing website, right? Phishing website with those things, you can go and see the domain, check their domain. Okay, they would have registered very recently, and then they would have been using for some kind of attacks. Or in case this kind of say Kali Linux I have showed you, right? Okay, that they create their own web servers. Okay, and then they create their own listeners, and then they create certain apk files or certain files where it can be installed in your mobile phone, and then they can entirely take the control of the mobile phone, right? Okay, just you need to click on that link, the entire access of your phone will be taken by them. Okay, so it will be embedded with that apk file, and it will be given, so that remote access of that particular mobile phone or your system or mobile phone will be entirely compromised, right? Okay, so this domain tools is a very good tool for you, right? Okay, to find out whether it is a genuine website or it is a fake website. Okay, and we can also find out certain other informations, like where this particular server of this particular domain name is. Okay, and say in case where this is being hosted. Okay, this particular website where it is being hosted, and so what are the other IP address which are associated with this. It means that it is being hosted in some shared hosting. Okay, so you find out this is being used or it is being hosted in some shared hosting, and where it is hosted in Texas. See the location of that particular hosting space, where it is, that you can find out. Okay, so this information you can easily find out just by typing the domain name. Okay, so how many information I am able to get it, right? Okay, the particular website is up or not. Okay, all this information I am able to get it, and when this particular website expires, that also is available. This domain expiry date, I am able to get it, right? Okay, so all this kind of information I can easily get it. Okay, this information I can use it as a vulnerability also. Okay, say which kind of OS is being used, which kind of server it is being used for that particular say the hosting space. That if I am able to find out, I can even try to launch an attack, right? Okay, certain kinds of attacks like a denial of service attack and other kinds of attacks can be easily done using this particular way, right? So this is a very good tool that you can use and see, right? Okay, and you have yet another thing that people might be interested to see. Okay, this is one of my IP as a mail ID. Okay, you can also find out, or you can also check it out. Okay, have I been pin.com, where the password of mine is been taken, or it is publicly available to the user or not. Okay, I can easily find out. Okay, so this particular mail id, the password is being shared in some other space. Okay, so the username and the password is being shared in some other space, so I should be careful, or I should change the password, right? Or I should use a two-way authentication, like username, password, and also uh, OTP got in the mobile phone, or some pattern that I get in my mobile phone. Okay, those kind of things that can also be authenticated. Okay, so it shows in the red, right, sir? So it says that there is some problem. So this is my another email ID. I check. Yeah. So this is a good news that this Gmail ID is secure. Okay, the password is not taken or it is not available elsewhere online. Okay, so you can also check whether your password is available online. Your password is being taken and it is been compromised or given somewhere, so that you can have your mail ID also more secure. Okay, so this another way you can find out whether your thing is secure or not, right? Your Gmail ID is secure or not, that you have to find out. Okay, and say another important thing what you need to do is that whenever you do your uh, say the scanning of your QR code. Okay, so whenever you do your scanning of your QR code, you should be very careful while doing that scanning of the QR code, since that scanning of the QR code that says that I am accepting all the things. So you just whatever the activity you want to do, you can do with that, right? Okay, so if I scan my QR code and I do it in my say WhatsApp, so I can get the WhatsApp in web, right? Okay, in web I can get my WhatsApp, right? So that I am accepting to commit my phone's data to your system, right? Okay, so the entire remote access of that particular phone's data is being given to online, right? Okay, so in web browser I am able to access that particular data. Whatever available in my phone is available in the system right now with respect to the browser itself, right? Okay, so it has been transferred to that manner, right? Okay, and in case you want to do any transaction in any shop, you go to your shop, you do your say the Google Pay or this various payment gateway UPIs are available, right? Okay, so you do that, you just scan for that. Okay, if you scan for that, that means that you are sending some, you are accepting to send the money, right? Okay, so just you get any mail or any QR code with respect to uh, any payment sort of thing, okay, just don't blindly do that. That you just can invite any intruder to take your account's data, right? So from that the money can also be transferred very easily, right? So you should be very careful in that aspect. And in case of this lockdown and in case of this period of lockdown, lot and lot of the cyber crime is taking place, where the people put the things for sales in website, right? Okay, they put it for very cheap rate. Okay, actually that thing is not available. They put it for cheap rate and the people try to buy that thing, but obviously what happens is that they fall as a victim or prey, right? Okay, for the cyber kind of attack. Okay, so these are the ways how the phishing kind of an attack can take place. Should be very careful in this kind of attacks. So this who is, so n lookup for the network analysis. So active kind of attacks, active attacks that involves spoofing, okay, gathering information. The passive attacks, the denial of service attacks that takes place. Okay, and this nessus, nmap, these are very familiar tools which are available, where you can find out the network statistics, right? And you can find out the vulnerabilities of that particular network and then try to attack. right? Yeah, the next step is scanning and scrutinizing, where you identify the open or closed ports, and then the network scan and understand the address and related information about the computer networks. Okay, and then you find out the vulnerability scanning, where you understand the existing weakness of the system. Okay, find out the open port, you find out the network scanning information. Okay, uh, and then the vulnerability of the system, what kind of OS and other things that is being used. Okay, so these information are gathered, they are being scrutinized, and how they can be used effectively, that is being used, and then they try to put it in a nutshell, enumerate it, right? And then after scanning and enumeration, the attackers launch the attack. Okay, and then the crack the password. Okay, say, and then they try to maintain the exploit that is being done. Okay, and then after doing the attack, okay, they want to clear all the things, they cover up the tracks and delete all the logs what they have done. Okay, and then they come out of that particular thing, right? Okay, so whenever they do the attack, okay, they gather the information. Okay, and then they try to maintain that access. Okay, in future they want to do that kind of attack, they will have the access to that network, and then they try to attack. Okay, so basically they will cover up the things as if that nothing has happened. Okay, the security expert find out some vulnerability or some malicious activity has taken place. Okay, then they find out this kind of attack has taken place, and then somebody has tried to cover up that particular track, and this forensics analysis comes into play afterwards. Okay, so people know what is this computer forensics, right? So whenever a event has happened, okay, I am sitting and working at my own, and I am working from work from home in that case, right? Okay, so company's data or organization data, okay, that comes and sits in my system. Okay, that is being taken by some x or y person from my laptop or from my mobile phone very easily in that case. So how we are going to protect it? Okay, and who will be responsible for that? Okay, how it can be easily traced back, who has done that mistake? Okay, for that the computer forensics is very much essential, in case any kind of a cyber attack has taken place, right? Somebody has stolen an information, stolen my laptop. Okay, so that is a biggest problem, right? Okay, for that organization, some information is available about that organization, some project is running on my system, right? With respect to that organization, that entire thing is been compromised, or it has been easily taken away, right? Okay, so we should have a access restriction for those things. Okay, how we are going to, so even though we are working from home, okay, as a end user, how we are going to make this thing more secure? Okay, that is very much essential. Basically, with the respect to endpoint security, the cloud security, email, website protection, network protection, the desktop protection. Okay, whatever the desktop you are working, the risk compliance, the data protection, the server protection, and the mobile security is very much essential. Okay, so these are the aspects of your endpoint security that you should be knowing. Say in case of your email that is being sent, whether you have to find out whether it is a spoofed mail that is being sent. Okay, so you receive a mail from your higher authority, from your sir, that saying that this time you need to send this much of money. Okay, but he has not sent that particular information, right? Okay, so in that case, he cannot also deny, and you cannot also deny that you have not received and he has not sent. So you should have a proper mechanism to find out, okay, there where the non-repudiation aspect comes into play. Okay, either the sender or the receiver cannot deny that they have not sent or they have not received. Okay, so so in all the cases we can't just say that we are innocent, so we didn't know about this, and so we have transferred that money, right? Okay, so in that case you should have the knowledge, and you should know whether it has come from a real source or not, and you have to find out whether it has come from the real source. And then when the money is involved, you should always take care of that particular aspect. Somebody says that you have won this much of money, you just don't give your important informations to them, right? Or just don't do whatever they tell you to do. Okay, just scanning some QR code itself is enough. Okay, they can take so much of money from your account. Okay, right? As if you are a student, you need not be worried about that much about their financial aspect, or you need not be worried about the amount that there in your account. But when you earn, you start earning, and you want to maintain certain amount in your account. Okay, so in that case, these kind of attacks comes, you should be very familiar. Okay, and you should be tackling these kind of attacks, right? Okay, so in case this spoofed email, just mail server is enough to spoof and send as if it is come from your sir, right? Okay, the domain name I can generate from the domain name, whatever the username what I want to generate. Okay, the domain name that I can uh, fix it with respect to that mail server, and then try to send the smooth mail. Okay, in that case we should have a strong mechanism. Yes, two-way authentication is more effective in this case, right? Okay, so only the username and password, that will not be effective. In that case, both the sender and receiver will receive a SMS saying that you send a message like this, and the receiver will receive a message that you have been received this information, so that if sender gets any doubt, he can contact the particular student or somebody who is been affected, and you can say that I have not sent that message, you please don't respond to that, right? Okay, so in that way it can be mitigated to some extent, right? Okay, some alert can be given, right, that this kind of phishing is taking place. Okay, so you be somewhat secure enough to know these kind of things, right? So this example what I was discussing. So these are the kinds of attacks. Sir, we have time, sir.
Sir,
Sir, we have time, sir.
sir, you can continue, sir. Otherwise, we can wind up. No issues, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I will finish off this part, and I will
Yeah.
try to wind up.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Sure.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So the types of attacks are the passive attacks and the active attacks, where the interception, where the traffic analysis, key logging, sniffing, and release of message comes, where you have the fabrication, where the data is being manipulated or some masquerading. Okay, so they change the identity and then they try to attack. In case of the active attack, some modification is being done using the man in the middle attack, right? Okay, so in case of your interruption, you have these kind of things where you have the denial of service attack, distributed denial of service attack, the distributed DOS reflectors, right? Okay, so they try to reflect the attacks, okay, and the SQL injection attacks. So these three things use the exploit vulnerabilities, where the denial of service attack, you have the flooding. It can be from various protocol like UDP, ICMP, snuff attack. People are familiar with the 7 layers of networks, say OSI model, right? Okay, so the please do not touch Stephen indicator, right? Okay, so you can be familiar with that thing. Okay, so your presentation layer, okay, your say right from the application to your say the physical layer, okay, all the layers you should be familiar with. And say mostly you should be familiar with the network layer and the transport layer, where the transport layer, this TCP protocol is being used, the TCP SYN flooding, TCP SYN smoothed flood, and TCP IP fragmented attack, TCP ACK attack, and TCP SYN plus ACK reflection flooding, that is been done using the DRDOS, right? Okay, so the DRDOS is kind of a reflection attack. Okay, so here we can see a normal scenario where a connection is established. A legitimate user tries to send a synchronization packet. Okay, so for that they will be responded back with the synchronization and acknowledgement, right? Okay, the synchronization acknowledgement will be responded back with the acknowledgement. So when it receives the server, the connection is established between the legitimate user and the server. Okay, and then the data transfer takes place. Okay, so this is how the normal way how a connection is established and the data transfer is taking place. In case of your attack scenario, what happens? The attacker sends the packet, and then it is been given to the victim server, where the victim server responds back with the synchronization packet. You can look right again, they send the synchronization packet. They try to send the synchronization packet again and again. Okay, that is the SYN flooding. Okay, they try to flood with the synchronization packet again and again. Okay, what happens is that it establishes the half established connection. Okay, so when it establishes the half established connection, when the legitimate user try to establish a connection with the victim server, they will not be able to do that. Okay, they will receive a message that sorry, I'm too busy that I cannot talk to you right now, right? Like that we'll have the response from the server. Okay, and say the continuously it will try, and the request timeout will happen. Okay, so the legitimate user will not get the service. Okay, the service is being denied for the user. Okay, again going back to that CAA. Okay, the confidentiality, integrity, availability, the availability aspect is being affected here. Okay, so you get the availability aspect affected. Okay, so the information that is not available for the user at that instant. So we try to detect the kind of SYN flooding. What we do is that we try to send the synchronization packet. When the attacker again try to send the synchronization packet again, okay, we will try to have a log of that particular mission from which the synchronization packet is coming. Okay, so once it comes, we'll record it. Next time it comes, we'll record it. Second time, third time, fourth time. Okay, what happens? This count keeps on increasing beyond a threshold limit. We will not accept a packet from that particular IP address. In that way, we can detect this inflating is happening, and we try to defend it, right? Say here, anybody ask any question? Okay, so we'll have this particular IP address that is been given, and so it will be stopped in the router level itself. Okay, it will not come beyond that router. Okay, so in case, so that will not come beyond that particular thing. Okay, so then the connection establishment that can takes place. Okay, so here some other kind of attack can also take place in case the IP address of the attackers keeps on changing. Certain kind of spoofing attacks comes. Okay, so in that case, how we are going to detect and defend it? Okay, spoofing attack, in that case, it continuously changes the IP address again and again and tries to thread it. Okay, here we had a mechanism to find out the IP address from which the more number of threshold value, the number of packet comes, then we try to defend it. Okay, from a same IP address, we keeps on changing the IP address. From the same system, it keeps on changing the IP address again and again. Okay, first it is 10.1.1.3, and next time is 10.3.2.4, right? It changes that IP address, and then it tries to attack that system. It constantly changes the IP address and tries to attack that system. Okay, so the spoofed flooding attack. Okay, how we are going to detect and defend it? Okay, so there are some mechanism like probing method, where we can find out whether really the system is available or not, or this is an automated thing that is coming on. Okay, and much more thing like botnet based attacks are there. Okay, where the system get compromised. From that particular system, n number of packets, say, at a given event of time, launches or attacks particular victim server. Okay, in that period of time, that takes trace back to that particular source is also not quite possible, since it is being commanded by command and control. Okay, say the command and control is being commanded by a master. Okay, so we can't trace back to the master, and we cannot deny that particular source, right? We have seen the attackers how they attack. They maintain that axis of that things, right? Okay, so like that, the bot network is a big black network which is available. Okay, so where that botnet based attacks, where the number of compromised zombie systems are available. Okay, from that, at a one instance, number of packet will be flooded. Okay, so in that case, how we are going to detect and defend it? That is a whole lot of question, right? Okay, so in that case, we should have a various algorithm to find out what is the source. Okay, and the behavior of that particular source. Okay, so we can works, right? Okay, so these are the things you should be knowing with respect to the active based attacks. I think so you can see how actually uh, hacking looks like.
You have probably seen many movies where hacking is portrayed like this. Wait, What does this even mean? Let me show you what hacking actually looks like. From the point where you're casually browsing the web to the point where your social media accounts were hacked, hacking happened. The hacker was able to take over your digital life. But how did he manage to do that? He might have done one of these three things. Let's see what they each mean. Breaches. Believe me or not, your password is probably already out there, publicly available on the internet without even your knowledge. This might feel a bit unconvincing, but it's true that there is a chance. Even mine existed publicly on the internet without even me knowing it, until recently when I finally found out that my credentials are already stolen and available for literally anyone to see. I had to then change my password on all my websites immediately. But how did this happen? How is it that your credentials are already publicly available on the internet? This is because of data breaches. When hackers manage to hack a website and get access to the website's database where the user information like their credentials are stored, they leak all this data on the internet. In most cases, they sell this data on hacker forums and dark web, or
Those
even
who are having the particular email ID password thus exist for quite a long of period of time. Okay, they have not changed the password. Okay, they are vulnerable to the kind of attacks.
post it on Pastewin. It's the hacker's choice, of course. This data contains the usernames and passwords of all or a part of the users of that website. So if you are a user of the website that got breached, your data is leaked too. Most of the websites hash your passwords before they store it in their database.
So basically, why this hashing is very essential. Okay, you want to say if you trust that particular organization or that particular application, and you try to give your username and password. Okay, but they doesn't have the mechanism to hash the particular password and store that particular password. In that case, it is easily taken by the attackers, right?
So a hacker needs to first crack your password hash in order to find your real password in plain text. But I'm not saying that it is impossible to crack a password hash. In fact, most of the data breaches on the internet contain plain text passwords. Many famous websites like Twitter, LinkedIn, 000 Webhost, etc. already suffered major data breaches. And all these breaches are publicly available on the internet, literally for anyone to see. Fun fact, there is a breach compilation available on the internet that contains literally 1.4 billion email password combinations. Think about it, 1.4 billion. If you want to check whether your credentials are included in any data breach, you can go to haveibeenpwned.com and enter your email to search for any data that is associated with that particular email in any of the data breaches on the internet. But let me also tell you, even though your results are positive on this site, your data might still be in one of the breaches, which is not popularly known but still exists. This is the easiest way anyone can take over your social media accounts or online banking accounts or whatever it is. Recently, many YouTubers like Megan Rinks got their channels taken over by hackers because apparently their credentials already existed in a data breach. The best way to stay safe from data breaches is to use a different password for every website. Use a password manager like Dashlane to generate random, unique passwords for every website you use. Social engineering. This is literally you giving away your username and password to a stranger on the internet. Hackers can pretend to be someone else to try to extract your crucial information, like your credentials, directly from you. For example, let's say you get a link like this from someone, and this link claims that you can get Instagram likes instantly for free of cost. You click on the link and you're taken to a very convincing website that claims to offer you free likes for your Instagram posts. If you put in your Instagram credentials on this website, thinking that this is a legit website, well, you're hacked. This is called phishing. It is one of the several types of social engineering attacks, and it is also the most common technique hackers use. Now, this is obviously not limited only to Instagram. You may end up losing your other social media accounts, email accounts, or even your online banking accounts through social engineering. However, the way a hacker approaches you to perform this social engineering can vary. And sometimes, even if you're not a computer illiterate, you may still fall for it. A hacker can also install a rat on your device through social engineering. A rat is nothing but a malware that gives the hacker remote access to your device. By installing a rat, the hacker will be able to do literally anything, like stealing your credentials for different websites by using a keylogger, stealing your photos and videos, finding your exact GPS location, or even operating your device's camera or microphone without your knowledge. For example, look at this innocent SMS I received, which claims that if I install this network carrier app, I will get free internet data. I click on the link and download the APK. It does look like the official app of the network provider. Well, actually, it is indeed the official app of the network provider. But a rat is binded to
See, mentioned about this, right? Okay. So, a kind of rat or some APK can also be combined with a legitimate software which is available, and it can be given so that it gets installed in your particular mobile or your laptop, so that your system gets compromised, right?
this app by the hacker. As soon as I install this on my device, the hacker has complete access to my device. I was recently targeted by someone and they tried hacking my YouTube channel through social engineering. I've already made a video about it explaining what happened. If you are interested, below. Man-in-the-middle attacks. Now this type of hacking is not very likely to occur, but there is a chance that you can get hacked by man-in-the-middle attacks. In this attack, a hacker can put himself as the man in the middle between you and the internet you're browsing. Let's say you're browsing internet from a public Wi-Fi network. Anyone who is using the same Wi-Fi network will be able to put themselves as the man in the middle, and they can see your internet traffic or even modify it. This means they will be able to see literally everything that you are sending and receiving from the internet using that public Wi-Fi. But as I said, it is very unlikely to happen, because most websites nowadays use HTTPS connection, which means the traffic between you and the website is encrypted, and no man in the middle will be able to extract this internet traffic. But you're still at risk if you're using a website that doesn't use HTTPS.
So, you check whether you are using a HTTPS website. Okay. So if it is HTTP, then it is not secure. Okay. So this how hacking can look like, right? So people, please see this pen testing.
I get lots of questions from readers about penetration testing, or simply pen testing. The main questions are where to start and what tools should I use? Well, I break it down into three main categories of tools: hardware-based pen test tools, application-based tools, and programming tools. And using these tools is a great place to start learning about pen testing. Start by testing your own network and computers. Of course, make sure that these are just test computers and don't use any systems that have important data on them. It's also recommended that you do. These usually require access. These are easily plugged right into the network, so it's a really nice. But these are really nice from other companies for the security test. Linksys WRT54 and other tools. The best wireless access point have access to the building is software-based tools. And here are some that you have.
So the hardware-based tools are also there. The software-based tools are the very important things which are needed for us
to have in your toolkit. First of all, Nmap. This is an excellent security scanner. Some people know it as just a port scanner, but it goes well beyond that. I love this tool I definitely recommend it, and you should use it in the command line in Windows and in Linux systems. And it's highly customizable, and I recommend that you not only get the tool, but buy the book by the creator, Gordon Lyon, Nmap Network Scanning. Definitely go for those. The next tool is Metasploit, the world's most used penetration testing software. Yes, heavily used by pen testers. In fact, some pen testers use this exclusively. So you're going to want to download this and check it out. And by the way, you're going to want to learn more about it. A couple good books. Metasploit, the penetration tester.
Metasploit pen tester or a Metasploit is a big tool, is a framework, okay, from which you can create a n number of attacks and see, right? For it is a very good tool for the pen testers, okay, penetration testers.
Guide and also Mastering Metasploit. I like both of those. The next tool is Nessus, the Nessus Vulnerability Scanner by Tenable. This is something that works in a client-server fashion, and it's more of a vulnerability scanner, probably not as much penetration testing, but I recommend that you have this in your toolkit anyways. It's kind of along the lines of Nmap and Metasploit, but it's more passive, whereas your Metasploit will be an active pen test tool. And the pen test really should be as active as possible so you can really simulate the attacker. Now, another tool, moving into different types of tools here, we have Wireshark. And Wireshark is a packet analyzer. You might also hear it referred to as a network sniffer or packet sniffer. This protocol analyzer or packet analyzer is an excellent tool to use to see exactly what data is flowing through the network. And I've uncovered all kinds of stuff with Wireshark. I've seen all kinds of things running on servers because you could drill down into the packets. So you definitely want to use Wireshark. This is at the top of the list with Nmap and Metasploit. And Microsoft
easily analyze the packet, okay, with respect to the Wireshark. It's a very effective tool actually.
has the network monitor, which is kind of the same type of thing, and there's a server-based version of that, and the newer version of that is Microsoft Message Analyzer. So you may be interested in those as well, but definitely download Wireshark. You're going to want to use that. And that used to be known as Ethereal, by the way. Then we have Kismet, which is for scanning wireless 802.11 networks. Download that program. And speaking of wireless networks, AirCrack-NG. You want to use AirCrack-NG to be able to crack or attempt to crack pre-shared keys on wireless networks. And then you have a host of password cracking tools. For example, John the Ripper, and also Cain and Abel. And you're going to want to download Rainbow Tables. There's a variety of these that you're going to want to work with, and it depends on whether you're booting a system or trying to hack a system that's already running. So it's going to depend on the scenario. And also a variety of Linux live CD. And I would definitely recommend getting the Network Security Toolkit. So a variety of Linux live CDs, in addition to all these app and Metasploit, all competent in a variety of programming defended. But if I was to lean modules with Ruby to work with Metasploit, and that's one of the things I like about PHP a good deal also, to do proper input validation, you really want to get into, and perhaps even ASP, a working knowledge of and network modules that are either available, VB, and so on, security in general, line like the back of your hand, whether it's the terminal in Linux-based systems or the command prompt. You want to know all these command lines. You really want to be able to work with them. And, when you're dealing with programs like Nmap, you're going to be controlling them from the command line as well. So another reason to really be able to be fluent in the command line. Now, to prove your knowledge of penetration testing and security testing in general,
certifications are there. That is good. If you take this certification, the companies are looking for these kind of certifications. so that you can get it into your, if you want to go into a security field, if you have these kind of certifications, that will be very good for you to get into the security career, right? If you want to get it in a security career, you try to have this kind of certifications.
General, you might opt for some certifications or even a degree in information security. Consider certs such as the Security Plus by CompTIA to start. That gives you a good groundwork, good foundation for security in general. Then perhaps the CEH, the Certified Ethical Hacker by the EC Council. This is more of an elite certification, and there's more of an in-depth application and testing process for this. And then possibly specialized certs from, say, Cisco, like the Cisco Cybersecurity Specialist, also known as S-Cyber. Or perhaps certifications from vendors such as Checkpoint and other high-level manufacturers of firewall equipment. So in closing, make sure
These are the certifications which are very good certifications. Okay, people are interested in try for these certifications also. Okay, so that will give you a very good future for you in the security career. I hear that you people are from for IBM cyber security batch, I think so, right? Okay, in that case, these kind of certifications will have more of the value. If you have an ethical hacker, okay, you have this baseline that is set for you. Okay, you can go to that company. After that, you can have other certification like this Checkpoint and other things, Cisco and CASSP. After you have this 5 years of experience, you can have the certification of CASSP, where that is very much need in case of the cyber security. And in future, okay, everything gets automated, and people not going to the office, working remote. Okay, this cyber security is going to reach its pinnacle, actually peak of the thing, right? Okay, so in that case, if you come out graduated, okay, you will have quite a lot of opportunities. Okay, kindly make use of that opportunity and explore your things, right? Okay, I thought I have given a brief idea for you, right? Okay, there are quite a lot of things. I have given a brief idea of for you that how you can explore more in this particular field of cyber security. Okay, any questions or anything you want to ask me? Yeah, you can ask me.
Yes, students, any queries? Any queries, any doubts? Okay, fine. Sir, I hope no doubts.
So I hope the session was interesting.
Yes, sir, obviously. We'll be very grateful section. You shown many
Sir,
demonstrations.
very interesting.
Thank you, thanks for your feedback.
Anything else? From your side, any feedback?
You have any questions, please ask me the questions. It would be great for me to answer the questions. So it will also be, so if your question that may be a question of some of your friends also, and also that also can enlighten me also, right? Okay, so you have your questions, please throw your questions. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you very much for your wonderful session. It's really very amazing. On behalf of
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
our Kalasalingam University Department of Computer Science and Engineering, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to our honorable resource person, Dr. L. Kavishankar, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and IT, right, sir? Department of Information Technology, Hindustan Institute of Science and Technology, CSE, yes, sir. Who delegates who blessed us with their presence and devote the valuable time of your busy schedules. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your section.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, students. Sir, can I conclude, sir? Can I wind up the section?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I
Thank
can
you, sir.
stop my thing.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you. Thank you very
yes,
much.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I have asked one question to the students. They have answered me hashing.
Sir, one question. One student asked some questions, sir. Can we join in private companies as security experts?
Yes, you can join the private companies as a security expert. Say, if you have these kind of, what are the certifications I have shown you, right? Those certifications you have, like the security plus the CEH and this checkpoint, okay, and this Cisco certification is there, okay. So say after 5 years of time you have this CASSP certification. These are the certification that can bring you very close to that organization, okay. The knowledge of that cyber security things may not take you directly to the job, but if you have this kind of certification, that may push you towards the job. And more of this cyber security, you cannot say if you're really working or really interested on that, only you can work on, okay. So those who study the cyber security doesn't go to that field actually, okay. Most of them, they doesn't go to that field, okay. If they are very much passionate towards that, okay, whatever they are doing, why they are doing, how they are doing, if they are interested, very much interested on that, and they want to achieve something with respect to cyber security, and this security aspect doesn't stop with the say just attack. If you try to attack and penetrate and then try to be a bug boundary, that's not enough, right? Okay, so you try to solve the kind of see, if any kind of attack comes, how to patch it around, right? Say how you want to be a security expert, okay, to provide the security for that, right? Okay, you should not be an attacker alone, okay. You should be an expert to provide the security aspect, okay. So you should be basically a white hat people, right? Okay, so that these kind of attacks comes, okay, you should be always towards defending, okay. You should be able to defend what kind of attacks comes, you should be able to defend it, okay. In that aspect, if you go, okay, you will be very much inclined towards that organization.
Okay, sir, thank you for your response. Any other doubts?
Did I answer your question? Say, any other question have come, sir?
Any other questions, students? No, sir. In chat box, no questions.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Fine, sir.
Thank you, sir. Once again, I thank you very much on behalf of the CSE.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. If
Shall
possible, kindly share the feedback for this.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure, sir. I will share to you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.